City. Over 4 million people have entered their 4th day without power across 12 states following the devastating Superstorm Sandy. Concern is growing for people who lack food, water, and heat. We begin today's show in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Red Hook, one of the hardest hit areas of the city. It's also home to one of the largest public housing developments in the city. On Wednesday, the Democracy Now! Team interviewed a number of people who survived the storm. We begin outside the Red Hook Initiative, a community organization that's teamed up with an Occupy Wall Street offshoot called Occupy Sandy to provide food, water, batteries, and other supplies to local residents.
The hallways are dark, the building is dark, the whole project is dark. It's like a war zone out here. And they have people in wheelchairs that they can't get downstairs. The elevators are out, of course. We're walking to the 6th floor. It's bad out here.
They just now started pumping today, but we don't have Con Ed out here. We don't have none of that services out here. They're not even coming.
Well, my name is Samora Coles, and I am a former employee of the Red Hook Initiative, just recently, maybe a year and a half ago. But this is still part of my home, and it's part of my community. So I come back every now and so often to volunteer what needs to be done. So unfortunately, due to the drastic devastation that happened a day or two ago, the people in the Red Hook community are out without food, water, lights, and a lot of the basic needs. And so what the Red Hook Initiative has done, they collaborated with a group of volunteers who are going way beyond their needs to donate and to give food and clothing, fresh water.
I'm Lisa Cowan. I'm on the board of the Red Hook Initiative. I think Occupy Sandy people who are alumni of Occupy Wall Street sent out the word that we needed food, and so this is sort of a combination of residents, volunteers. It's one of the only places in the neighborhood that retained electricity during the storms, so we opened our door in part because nobody could get any information, nobody could plug in their phones, so we're here for we opened up our plugs to the community, people started pouring in, and then volunteers showed up with food. People have been calling us, tweeting us, Facebooking us to say what can they do. And so what we're trying to do is get people to drop off non-perishables, candles, flashlights, batteries. One of the biggest things we're hearing from people who live in the houses is just how dark it is at night. And now it's starting to get cold.
My name is Amelia, and I just responded to a call online through an Occupy website that they needed volunteers down here today. This is the Red Hook Initiative, so this is always open doing community involvement things. So they've just let us kind of come in and use their space and serve food and collect donations from the neighborhood. So we've been here since around 10 a.m. today. We had breakfast, we've had hot lunch, we have snacks all day, and then we're going to serve hot dinner at 6 o'clock.
I'm Monica Byrne. I'm one of the owners of Homemade and Raquette Catering. This is my kitchen. And what happened Monday? Well, big storm. We actually, most of Red Hookers were staying put. Most of us were all in communication. We'd organized, lists online so everybody knew who was open, who was closed, who had what resources. And we were all, a bunch of us sitting here playing cards, listening to music when the water started coming up Pioneer Street. Slowly, but fast. Kind of, it wasn't like a tidal wave. It was just slowly crawling at a rapid speed, and in about 15 minutes it went from the end of Pioneer and Imlay by the water to our front stoop and up about a foot.
I don't believe it. I don't believe what I'm seeing. I never in my life, I'm 56 years old, I never in my life get scared like Monday night. Never in my life.
Selwyn Critchlow, and my address is 99 Pioneer Street, Brooklyn, New York, the Red Hook area. What we experienced on Monday was the worst part of a storm. We had water that completely filled the basement. The cars were almost submerged in water. There were just debris all over the place, things. It was just chaos in the place. It was just chaos in the place. The electricity went, you see, and it was like all man to himself. You see, it's like man against Mother Nature, and Mother Nature won. I would not wish a storm like this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish a storm like this. It just shuts life down. It just shuts life down. And it make man realize who he really is. See? It gives you time to actually think on yourself and see who you really are. You see, what purpose do you really have? You see, so there's a lot of self-searching that goes on. Even enemy become a friend at time like this.
My name is Corbin Ledline. I'm the Youth Empowerment Program Coordinator here at Added Value, and we operate the Red Hook Community Farm, which is where we're at now. Basically, the farm was completely flooded. It seems like at some points, judging from the marks in the greenhouse, it was up to around 4 feet, so all the crops were covered with water from the harbor, so we won't be able to sell any of that anymore. I grew up in Red Hook. There are people on my block who lived in Red Hook for, decades and decades and have never seen anything like this. And hopefully now this is the wake-up call. I heard that, I don't have electricity, so I haven't been listening to the news and stuff, but I heard that Governor Cuomo mentioned climate change, and so that was like a drop in the, something good, but, the fact that it wasn't mentioned at all during the presidential debates is just completely ridiculous, especially when things like this are happening. I have a feeling this is going to become the new normal in a world where temperatures are rising, sea surface temperatures are rising. So, it needs to be an issue we're talking about and figuring out how to address it.
How do local farms fit into the solution?
Well, actually, I think many people argue that local farms are the solution. Our industrial agricultural system is based on using fossil fuels and for pesticides and natural gas. We ship food all across the country, and it just doesn't make sense. We need to localize production to reduce our carbon footprint. And this awesome group Via Campesina says that small-scale farming, peasant agriculture will cool the planet, and I think many people are catching on to that.
Special thanks to Mike Burke, Sam Alcoff, and Jessica Lee in Red Hook this week, one of the hardest hit areas of the city. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. When we come back, it's global warming, stupid. That is the cover story of Bloomberg Business Week. We'll be joined by its editor and author of the piece, Paul Barrett. Stay with us. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting from Missouri Public Television in St. Louis and in